Michael had always been the kind of man people trusted without hesitation. He wasn't flashy, didn't crave attention, and never made promises he couldn't keep. His wife, Sarah, used to say that was the thing she loved most about him. His reliability, the way she could lean on him like a rock. For 12 years, their marriage had been a picture framed in quiet routines. Sunday brunches at their favorite cafe, movie nights where Sarah picked the film and Michael picked the snacks, and long drives where silence between them wasn't uncomfortable but warm. To the outside world, theirs was the kind of love people envied. But Michael had started noticing subtle changes. Sarah's laughter felt thinner, her texts shorter, and her phone, once left lying carelessly around the house, now clung to her like a secret diary. At first, he brushed it aside. Everyone went through phases, he told himself. Maybe she was stressed. Maybe life had just worn her down. But then there were the late-night work meetings and weekend errands that seemed to stretch longer each time. Michael's gut whispered truth his heart refused to hear. Sarah was hiding something. It wasn't until one Tuesday evening, when Sarah claimed she'd be staying late to finalize a project, that Michael's suspicion transformed into cold certainty. A friend from her office casually mentioned over coffee that Sarah hadn't been at work for weeks. Her project had ended long ago. Michael felt the ground shift under his feet. Every instinct screamed betrayal. Yet some stubborn part of him still hoped it was a mistake, a misunderstanding he could laugh about later. Instead of confronting Sarah outright, Michael decided to wait, to observe, to let her reveal the truth herself. And she did, though not in words. One night after she went to bed, he checked her phone. His hands trembled as he scrolled through messages with a man named Jason. The texts were flirtatious at first, but then they became explicit. Plans to meet at a quiet cafe on the edge of town, arrangements for nights together. Reading Sarah's words, her eagerness, her confessions of missing another man, ripped through Michael like glass splinters. He realized she wasn't just entertaining a fling. She was emotionally invested. Michael's world dimmed, but instead of rage, a strange calmness took over him. If Sarah wanted to meet Jason, then so be it, but she wouldn't be meeting him alone. Michael decided to take Jason's place. The night Sarah arranged her secret rendezvous, Michael felt his heartbeat pound with a steady rhythm. Anger, betrayal, disbelief, all fused into one. She had texted Jason to meet her at a dimly lit wine bar on the outskirts of the city, a place tucked away enough to promise privacy. Michael sat in his car outside for nearly 30 minutes before walking in, rehearsing in his mind the look on her face, when she realized who was waiting instead. He didn't want to create a scene. No, he wanted her to feel the weight of her choices in silence. Inside, the bar hummed with soft jazz, clinking glasses, and the chatter of strangers lost in their own worlds. Sarah sat at a small table near the back, dressed in a way Michael hadn't seen in years. Her hair styled perfectly, her red dress striking, her eyes scanning the room with restless anticipation. She looked like a woman meeting a lover, not a wife waiting for her husband to come home. Michael walked toward her slowly, every step deliberate. Sarah's face shifted from expectancy to confusion as she recognized him. Her eyes widened, lips parted, and for a moment she froze entirely as if the air had been sucked out of her lungs. Expecting someone else? Michael asked calmly, sliding into the chair opposite her. Sarah's hands trembled as she clutched her wine glass. Michael, I thought you were working late. That's what you told me, isn't it? He replied, his voice steady, almost too steady. But it seems you've been the one working late, just not at the office. Her face drained of color. She opened her mouth, then shut again, fumbling for an explanation that never came. The silence between them grew louder than the music around them. Michael leaned forward, placing her phone on the table. The screen was unlocked, their messages visible. I read everything, every word, every plan. You couldn't even bother to hide it properly. Do you have any idea how humiliating this is? Sarah's voice cracked as she whispered. It wasn't supposed to go this far. I just needed to feel something again. Jason made me feel alive, like I wasn't invisible anymore. Michael's jaw tightened. Invisible? That word dug into him like a knife. He had sacrificed, worked tirelessly, loved her faithfully, yet she had sought life in another man's arms. He didn't shout, didn't make a scene. Instead, He stared at her with eyes colder than she had ever seen. Alive? You just killed everything we had. Sarah's eyes welled with tears as she reached across the table, her fingers barely grazing his hand before he pulled away. The rejection stung her more deeply than any insult could have. Michael, please let me explain. It wasn't about replacing you. I felt neglected, forgotten. Jason wasn't supposed to mean anything. Michael shook his head slowly, his expression unreadable. Do you even hear yourself? You felt neglected, so you threw away vows. You reached out to a stranger, led him into places that belonged only to us. That's not loneliness. Sarah, that's betrayal. Her tears spilled over, streaking her face as she whispered, I never wanted to lose you. I just thought I'd lost you already. He leaned back in his chair, studying her with a mixture of anger and sorrow. You lost me the moment you decided someone else's attention mattered more than my trust. The words cut her deeper than she imagined because they weren't shouted. They were spoken with finality. For the first time that evening, Sarah looked small, fragile, as though the foundation she built her secret life on had crumbled beneath her. She had imagined passion, escape, maybe even guilt, but not this emptiness, not this devastating calm from the man she had wronged. Michael stood, sliding his chair back slowly. You'll go home tonight, Sarah, but not with me. You'll sit in that house and think about every lie you told, every message you sent, every moment you chose someone else over your husband. And when I come back for my things, don't be surprised if I don't come back for you. Her body shook as she whispered desperately, Michael, please don't leave me like this. We can fix it. I swear we can. I'll do anything. He paused, his back to her now, his voice low. You can't fix what you've already destroyed. With that, he walked out of the bar, leaving Sarah sitting alone under the dim light, her hands trembling around the glass she no longer had the strength to lift. The laughter and music around her felt cruelly out of place, mocking the silence of her shattered world. For Michael, the night air felt sharp, almost cleansing. The betrayal still burned, but with each step away from her, he felt the weight lift. He had walked into that bar to confront a cheater. He walked out as a man who finally understood his worth. Sarah was left frozen, not by Michael's arrival, but by the realization that she had gambled with love and lost it.